Good afternoon and welcome to the Inside Politics segment of the BD TV show, the program where we explore key developments in both national and international politics. I am Inyobong Iwok. Today on the program, we'll be exploring the wide implication of the People's Democratic Party crisis and the current state of the party. Last week, the PDP Governors Forum announced that the party will not join the Atiku Abubakar-led coalition ahead of the 2027 general election. Just as two governors of the party openly back President Bola Tinubu election bid, sources say many PDP governors are bidding their time before coming out to declare their support for the president. The decision has elicited divergent reactions, with many Nigerians wondering if this is the signal that the internal crisis in the PDP is unresolvable and the party is heading for oblivion, with Nigeria potentially a one-party state. To understand this better, to provide more insight into these issues and the state of the party, I'm joined by Rahman Owokoniran. He's a veteran politician here in Lagos State and nationally within the PDP. He's a former commissioner in Lagos State and immediate past Southwest Secretary of the PDP. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to Inside Politics.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ini. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, good to have you in our studio. What is your take? The PDP, we saw the resolution of the Governors Forum last week. It's to a lot of Nigerians, it was more like a surprise. Maybe some people were not surprised because of based on what has been happening in the last few months and the last 2 years. And how did you receive the news?
Well, unfortunately, most of the people that have concern about those decisions have not really settled down to analyze or to go deeper into what those decisions were about. Well, they would be wrong to think that because of the decision made by the governors, they will interpret it as if one by one the governors will eventually succumb. It is not so. When you look at the situation in Nigeria today, you will observe that the president assumed a position whereby he had been riding shoddy on every institution, and this includes the autonomy of the states. All states autonomous, they are supposed to run on their own. But take, for instance, what he did in Rivers State. That was high-handedness. He didn't have such powers. The Constitution has not given him such powers. And he did not do it for fun. It was a deliberate act to send certain signals to some people that, look, I'll do it and nothing will happen. And most of these governors, they want to perform in their various states. They want to have something to show. So they must have their own approach to this kind of situation. So if you see them kowtowing or visiting to give assurance that they are willing to work with the president, and they are supposed to work with the president anyway,
yes,
regardless of which party they came from.
Yes.
For instance, 1983, I was a member of the State House of Assembly in Lagos under UPN. We were able to secure the railroad project with the president of Sheikh Shagari's MPN.
Yes.
If there is no interaction, no relationship, we wouldn't have gotten it in Lagos.
Yes.
Even though it has been taken away from us, and we even ended up paying more than we were supposed to. So I do not believe that the romance that is going on between the governors and the president necessarily means that they are conceding or giving him their vote. At the appropriate time, their constituency will be the one to decide for him where he will go. If he decides to go to the wrong place, it may cost them their own positions.
So what you are saying, the fact that the governor's resolution may not be the final, say, or may not be the final decision.
Yes, it cannot be they made it clear that it was a recommendation. Those who make the decisions are, well, in the interim, the NWC, that's National Working Committee, but eventually the NEC, that's the National Executive Committee, pending the ratification of the convention. So it is not the prerogative of the governors to decide for the party. They can only recommend. Or in this case, they're not even recommending that the party should support Mr. President. Those who are at on the podium, that is the governor of was that there?
Makinde was
the
governor of
Akwa
Ibom State Governor.
Governor of Akwa Ibom.
I mean the one that decided to openly support the president. But a lot of people may not agree with you what you have said, because what we've seen in the last few months, of course, we've seen that internal wranglings within the party have actually degenerated. And what we see in recent weeks is that two governors, Akwa Ibom State, have come out openly to support the election bid of the president. And we hear that Delta State Governor is also in support. Several others, some others, not several, are also going towards that line. So to some people, they may think that, of course, may just be the trend. The governors were not speaking we are probably just speaking their hearts, that they are not in support of the coalition, and they were actually work towards.
Well, you have to understand something, that the governors, they are not going to decide for the party. They are not going to decide for the state. And in any case, the cat and mouse relationship they are having with them is absolutely necessary for them to be able to achieve their own goal in their constituencies. Well, the people may disagree with my position, but I know that ultimately the people get to decide who they give their vote to, regardless of whether the governor is supporting A or B.
Knowing how much influence the governors have in the party. Okay, let's move. We saw the governors also said they are also not in support of the Atiku Abubakar's led coalition. What is your take on that?
Well, the governors...
Because a lot of people will have think that, judging what is going on, a lot of Nigerians think that the APC government so far not really done well over the last 2 years plus, looking at the employment rate, the inflation rates, and the cost of living in the country, that the governors will have worked with embrace this coalition and work with broad-based politicians to challenge incumbents.
Well, what you see playing out is the politics of 2027, in which case, when you look back at 2023, what destroyed the chances of PDP winning the seat was this issue of rotation of presidency, that Buhari did his 8 years, then he should swing back to the southwest. I mean the south, the island. So it is the same that is still on. The governors you are talking about, they're from the south. All they are saying is, it's nothing against Atiku. It's about the fact that they want the position of the presidency in the party to be zoned to the south. That is what is at play. So if eventually they have their way, then there will be no Atiku on the ticket. Otherwise, I pray we don't go to that kind of divide that we had in 2023.
But have we gotten to that level where the party, a lot of people think that if a PDP governor could, that the party is in serious crisis, if a PDP governor could come out to openly support an APC government, isn't that a sign that the PDP is in serious crisis? Or probably looking at what is going on now, a lot of the governors are in bed with the ruling party. Isn't that a clear sign? Because the governors are supposed to be the bedrock of the party. They apart from being the leader of the party in each of the states, they should decide the direction of the party. And where if they are in bed with the opposition, with the ruling party, isn't there a clear sign of where the party is heading? Even what we've had, the crisis the internal crisis over
it
the last.
It is not a clear sign because even the ruling party cannot guarantee the support of all the governors with him in the APC as we speak. We're only concentrating on what is going on in the opposition party. But the same trend, the same thing is happening in the ruling party. The president cannot beat his chest that all the governors in APC are going to support him for the 2027 bid.
Why would they not support him?
I just spoke to you about a divide now.
Yeah, do you think there's also an APC have their own problem?
Yeah, they have their own challenges now. In respect of, is it religion, is it the tribal or the zonal arrangement. So they have questions to also ask. And are they comfortable with what has transpired in the last 3 years? Yeah, last 2 years, going to 3 now. So those are the things that will form the bedrock of where anybody will be ultimately. But right now, whatever you see the governors playing out now is that, hey, we have the president, we have to work with him. That is what is going on. So yeah, some people took it to the extreme. It depends, you know. Maybe the president has convinced them, and in any way try to convince the others. Is it going to work? I don't think so. I don't think because one governor declare, then they will have a bandwagon. Yes, what is clear is that there's a struggle between the North and the South to keep the presidency. And there are a lot of arguments being put at play why it should be one and not the other. So we see as the discussion develops, we'll see which direction.
Don't you see?
But it's not about Atiku. Even the issue of you mentioned something about coalition.
Yes.
The issue about coalition is not about Atiku. The issue is PDP had to save his own organization. If PDP jumps into discussion of coalition,
yes,
people will move. But they have to reassure their people. I'm one of the people. We have to reassure our people that we are still firm on ground, and we have a lot of advantages as a party of the old who are performing this thing. So we have to encourage our people to remain, that we are the people that should galvanize that support so that we don't lose out ultimately. Most of the people in the coalition probably can hardly deliver a state.
But isn't it obvious that coalition is what we need now? Can the PDP defeat?
It's obvious that.
Isn't it obvious that the PDP cannot win?
Of course, definitely
cannot defeat the ruling party without it. If you present the candidate now with the division in the party over the last 3 years, you think the party can stand any chance against the incumbent without the coalition?
Everybody knows that. Not only PDP, everybody knows that. Even Obasanjo mentioned in one of the articles I read just this morning that if we are serious about defeating the ruling party,
yes,
we have to come together. But that coming together, it must be constructive. It must be in a way that there will be equity, so that everybody will feel at home. That okay, yeah, this coalition at the end of it, we have something to take home.
Well, let's look at it. discuss about the crisis within the PDP, which have led to all this we are talking about, why the party cannot move forward. It started after the presidential convention in Port Harcourt, or it was held in Port Harcourt in 2023. And we know you were the former Southwest Secretary of the party, and there have been effort to resolve this crisis. Oyinlola committee was set up, and some other committee was set up to resolve these issues. Why have the crisis, managed to resolve? Why also Oyinlola committee and other committees set up been unable to resolve the crisis within the PDP?
No, it's not correct. It's not that they are unable. They're not moving as fast as they should. And that's primarily due to other crises that are, for instance, they wanted to go to the South. Because of the crisis of rivers, they had to halt it because they can't do South without rivers.
Yes.
So, yes, they were slow, but they are still on it. Southwest, we don't have problem. That one, they've been there. Their report is with them. And if you go to some of the northern states too, they have resolved their own, but it has to be holistic. They have to conclude all the others before we now have a final.
So what is frustrating this? What do you think is frustrating the effort to resolve we know the elephant in the house, or Wike, and we know his efforts so far in dividing the party. What will you say to all you said? We saw what he said last week in the interview. He said the planned convention may not hold in August. He said he will go to court. That Anya will still remain the national secretary of the party, despite the Supreme Court judgment. Mm. What is your taking?
Well, I think, but I look at it from that challenge from two ways. One is the Wike angle, but Wike is not the problem. The problem is the leadership of PDP. Look, nobody can be bigger than the party. No one individual or group of individuals can be bigger than the party. Okay, we have our rules, we have the mechanism, the process we should take to. There are people who are in discipline too. But for some reason, which I cannot really, which I don't know.
Yes.
They are not doing that. In a country where there is no law, there can't be an offense. The public is holding Wike responsible for certain things he's doing so badly. Mm. Okay. Why have we not made the rules? For instance, Mr. President and PDP never went into any kind of arrangement of government of unity. There was no such arrangement between PDP and APC or Mr. President
for Wike
to join them. So, what is the position of PDP on that issue?
But Wike said he told the party before he joined.
Which party?
We all know the
chairman.
We know the genesis of all this. He worked for Tinubu, and he was compensated.
That's what I'm saying. If you, as a party member, work for another party, is that not
anti-party?
Anti-party. It is anti-party, and it's against the rules of the party. But the issue is, the chairman of the party is not the party. It's only the chairman of the highest organ of the party.
But the party have not been able to take a firm stand.
That's what I've just said. Why could the party not take a stand on whether PDP wants to be in work with APC or not? So if PDP does not work with APC, they will tell every member of PDP who is working with APC it's time to leave. If you don't leave, you are working against party. I will subject you to so. Once the party take that position, that's the position of the party.
But the party have not been able to do that because they have been divided. Even among the NWC of the party, we know some people are still loyal to this same Wike, and they cannot. Many Nigerians have been wondering why PDP will allow one person to destroy the house they have built so far, and you cannot take a stand to sanction?
For me too, it's a surprise, because at any point in time, the chairman is supposed to call a meeting to take decision on this thing. Whether or not some people hold allegiance to Wike, the numbers will confirm.
What is your reaction to what Wike said last week about the convention not holding? He lambasted the PDP governors for all about holding a national convention, setting up committee. He said they will set up parallel chapter in some state. They will go to court. Do you see that convention holding?
Well, when I heard Wike said that, I was taken aback. What gave him the kind of confidence to, be talking the way he was talking? But I decided that I have to wait on the leadership of the party to react, because that's a big embarrassment to the party. For Wike to want to decide when PDP can hold its convention, when PDP has a right to take certain decisions, that is far off. The PDP must stand up to that and make that decision. They've been dragging it. This is the second year running of this administration. It is terrible. It has been terrible, because people have almost given up on our party unless certain things. We're running out of time. There's every forum that I attend, I ensure that I bring it up. That look, we are losing steam. People have expectations of this party. The way, although Wike is doing all those things for other reasons, but it's an embarrassment to the party.
We saw Fayose also comment that he will not, the party, this crisis was because of zoning, and the party have not taken steps to resolve the crisis, and that he will not support any coalition.
What they are doing is to try and divert PDP voters. What are you still doing there? That place
it's gone.
So that's what they are doing. That's what Wike and Fayose is doing. So we have the capacity to hold back our people, and that's what you see in the decision taken by the governors. That we are not interested in the let's hold our house together. So people may not know it, but we are working seriously.
Do you agree that some of these governors that have come out to support, to openly support the president's second term bid, are saying it's probably because of their survival? Do you agree to that statement?
Are you aware that those governors that you talk about may not be using the ticket of PDP?
I mean, some of them are their first time. You mean they will not get PDP ticket?
Yes, they may not get the PDP ticket.
Of course, they may defect to the APC.
Yes, it's fine. It's their right to do that. But because they have that, does not mean they will run on the ticket of PDP. Because those were part of the considerations when they are being screened. Because they have to go through screening.
But with all this crisis, now, I saw your article some days ago. You said the PDP is at the crossroad. Do you believe if these issues are not resolved immediately, this may virtually lead to the death of the party?
Yeah, I believe strongly that we have a lot of work to do on our hands. That if by any chance we allow this thing to go any other way than holding on to what we have and ensuring that we work with others to rescue Nigeria from this from the APC ruling party, PDP has a lot to lose. We know what happened to AD.
Yes.
Virtually not existing anymore. So if we go the way of the AD, and it is almost about the same thing that went on then, because Obasanjo is a Yoruba man.
Yeah.
Yes. But AD was a regional party.
Yes.
PDP is a national party. You understand? So I cannot foresee a situation whereby PDP will go that direction.
Let's shift our talk now. Let's move out to democracy in Nigeria. You were there in 1999 when we started this democracy. From a commissioner for works and later, I think, boundary or chieftaincy title. Yeah. And how we rate our democracy? A lot of people feel that the country had not made much progress. Looking at the election we've had, we will not make progress in terms of conduct of election. Electoral process has become so violent prone, monetized, and how we rate our democracy 25 years after?
Well, I wrote our democracy very low. I don't think we are going in the right direction. And it started right from the beginning of the takeover of the 1999.
Yes.
You know, the first president was Obasanjo. He did not care too much about democracy. It was about just administrative ruling of and holding the thing in only the ways he understands. He doesn't know that it takes a lot to germinate for a seed. To germinate, you have to wet it. You have to do a lot to make it. That was not done. It was not until Musa Yar'Adua came and followed by Jonathan. They did a lot. The rule of law was respected. All the tenets of democracy were observed. But when this APC government, starting from Buhari, Tinubu, it was a total reversal.
A lot of Nigerians believe that the problem of the country, that there's need to restructure the country, restructure our electoral system if the country is to move forward. Wale Oshun, the former Afenifere renewal, I spoke with him some weeks ago. He said the country, they're just wasting our time, that we can't move forward if the country is not restructured. A lot of Nigerians also said we can't have a credible candidate emerge in elections if the electoral system continues to be like this. Do you agree? And this, of course, we know the Ways report, Confab report, Ways report about the electoral reforms, and also the
yeah,
report.
Definitely, I agree.
Find a way to all this to resolve this.
I agree totally with reforms and restructuring of the system.
Country, yeah.
The only challenge that has is that when you talk of restructuring means different things to different people. So unless they sit together and fashion out which way for Nigeria, then you can begin to talk about, even most of the people talking about restructuring, you ask them, okay, what do we need to do? Yeah, we just have to do restructuring. You know, there is no clear-cut direction for this restructuring.
They said we should return back to the regional system. Some said we should return back the parliamentary system of government. We can save more.
That
this system is
I have problem with going back and forth. It is the problem that we're faced with is human. It's human error. It has nothing to do with all those things. If you put the same people, and unfortunately, even when you change tomorrow, who are the occupiers of those positions? These same people will be at the forefront. It's just that they are tired of this one. They want to start it all over again and then settle. No, I don't believe that this experiment is over. I believe that the challenge we have is that some people refuse to observe the rule of law. If we have a system in place and we still put those people, what will happen?
All right, finally, sir, what is your take on the killing, the insecurity in the country, the killing we've seen in recent days, in the last months, or maybe years, in Benue, in Plateau? A lot of Nigerians have died in the last few days. The government seems overwhelmed. What is your take?
Well, that is very sad.
You say we need state police.
The way people are being sacrificed and nobody seems to care. And the only way they express their feelings about it is when they just go and visit and probably drop some palliatives or something like that. I mean, human life should be protected. They don't protect, in this country today, there's no protection of life and properties. And that's a violation of our constitution. If there's a need to declare a state of emergency, I think one should be declared.
I think people are calling for state police. That's why Afeni Ferrer and other Nigerians have said that it is inevitable now. They will need state police considering the killing of Fad. Thank you very much for being on the program today. All right, very much. That is Inside Politics for this week. I've been speaking with Rahman Owokoniran. He's a veteran politician.
Honorable Rahman.
You were in the Second Republic. You were in the
House of Assembly.
House of Assembly, of course.
I was the youngest man in that house.
Yeah, in Lagos State. In Lagos State, yes. Former commissioner in Lagos State, and also immediate past Southwest Secretary of the People's Democratic Party. That's the program for this week. My name is Iwok. Stay tuned to BDTV.
You are watching Business Day Television.